I want to start today with a number that genuinely stopped me in my tracks. 7. 7 lives saved for every 100 people treated.
In medicine, 7 is it's a massive number. We get excited about fractions of a percent.
Right.
You know, if a new drug improves survival by 2%, it's front page news. 7 out of 100 is almost unheard of.
Exactly. And you hear a number like that, you assume it's some, I don't know, billion-dollar gene therapy or a breakthrough surgery, but it wasn't.
No, it was software.
Just software. An AI algorithm looking at electrocardiograms, ECGs. It just looked at the squiggly lines of a heartbeat and told the doctors, hey, pay attention to this one. That's it. And that little digital tap on the shoulder cut deaths in high-risk patients by 31%.
It's a staggering result. And to put that in perspective for everyone, a 31% reduction in mortality it's as good as, maybe even better than, what statins did for heart disease.
Wow.
But statins are a drug, a chemical you put in your body. This is just information delivered at the exact right moment.
And that's the big idea we're pulling on today. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're looking at this amazing convergence of two massive fields. You've got artificial intelligence on one side, learning to see aging in ways our eyes literally can't.
And on the other, you have this longevity revolution, which is trying to shift us away from sick care to actual, proactive health care.
It feels like a fundamental shift. We're moving from a reactive model, wait for the heart attack, to a truly predictive one.
It is, and we have a really heavy stack of research today, mostly coming out of the ARDD 2025 conference. That's the Aging Research and Drug Discovery meeting. So we'll be breaking down data from Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and some really incredible academic work that honestly sounds like science fiction.
Okay, so let's go back to that ECG study, published in Nature Medicine. Most people know what an ECG is, right? The sticky patches on your chest. Doctors have read these for a century. What did the AI see that a cardiologist was missing?
That's the thing. It's not that it saw one new thing necessarily. It's that it synthesized all the data in a different way. It identified these subtle patterns that together signaled a high predicted risk of mortality.
So it saw a ghost in the machine.
In a way. But the real magic of the study was the setup. It was a pragmatic clinical trial.
Pragmatic meaning real world,
Brr.
not some perfect lab.
Exactly. They just deployed it in a real hospital system in Taiwan. And when the AI flagged a patient, it just sent an alert. It didn't force a treatment. It just said high risk.
So it's a snitch. It's telling on the patient's heart.
Ha! Yes, it's a snitch. And because of that alert, doctors changed their behavior. They ran more tests. They monitored those patients more closely. The whole system just snapped to attention for that person.
That's incredible. It implies the treatments were already there. The doctors knew what to do. They didn't know who needed it the most until the software pointed.
And that's the low-hanging fruit of this AI revolution. We don't always need a new miracle drug. Sometimes we just need to know where to look. A 17% reduction in mortality for the whole group just by pointing the doctor's eyes in the right direction.
Okay, so if AI can read the heart, the thing in the notes that really freaked me out a little bit is that it's also reading our faces.
This is where it gets a little personal, yeah.
A little confrontational. We're talking about work from Jackie Hahn and Morten Scheibye-Knudsen, using AI to analyze your face to determine your biological age, and not like an Instagram filter guessing if you're 25.
Well, no, this is deep biological data. Jackie Hahn's research used 3D facial imaging, and they could predict biological age with an error rate of just 2.8 years.
Wait, only 2.8 years? That's nothing.
It's remarkably precise, but what really caught my eye was the thermal imaging, the thermal clock.
This sounded like wizardry to me. Explain how the temperature of my face tells a computer how old I am inside.
It turns out aging has a heat signature. Hahn's team found this very specific pattern. As we get older, the nose gets colder.
Older.
And the area around the eyes gets warmer.
A cold nose and warm eyes. Why? What's happening?
It's likely tied to vascular changes and inflammation. Your peripheral circulation often gets worse with age, so less blood flow to the nose makes it cooler. Meanwhile, inflammaging, that low-grade chronic inflammation, heats up other areas, like around the eyes.
So my cold nose is a bad sign.
Well, it correlates heavily with metabolic disease. If your metabolism is off, your thermal age jumps. But, and this is the hopeful part, it's reversible.
This was the jump rope study.
The jump rope study. So small group of women, they just jumped rope for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not a marathon, just simple cardio.
Okay.
Their thermal age dropped by 5 years.
5 years younger in 2 weeks. That is wildly responsive.
It shows these markers aren't set in stone. Your face is basically a dashboard for your metabolism. But if you think that's wild, what Morten Scheibye-Knudsen did with just regular photos is even crazier.
This was the hospital admission study.
Right. He took a single unstructured photo of a patient when they were admitted, like a selfie. And the AI's analysis of that one picture was a better predictor of survival than their pulse, their blood pressure, or their oxygen saturation.
I need to pause on that. We go to a hospital, they hook us up to all these monitors, and you're telling me a picture of my face is more accurate predicting if I'm going to make it.
It challenges everything, doesn't it? It suggests our biological status, our frailty, our resilience. It's all written on our faces in ways that we ignore, but an algorithm can just see it, plain as day.
It's like a digital portrait of Dorian Gray.
It really is. And it's so powerful because it costs nothing. Imagine your bathroom mirror just scans you in the morning and says, hey, your thermal signature's off, go for a run.
Or go to the hospital.
Hopefully it catches you long before that point.
So we look different as we age, but we also, we act different. Which brings us to my favorite part of the research. The fish.
The African killifish, the rock star of longevity research right now.
Why this fish? It lives in a mud puddle.
Because it's a perfect model of compressed aging. It lives in these temporary ponds, so it has to do everything fast. It's born, reproduces, ages, and dies in about 4 to 6 months.
This is like watching a human life on fast forward.
Precisely. And Anne Brunet's lab at Stanford tracked them continuously. I mean, every turn, every pause, every moment of sleep. And they found they could predict by midlife which fish were going to live long and which were going to die early based only on behavior.
The crystal ball effect. What was the tell? What does a short-lived fish do?
That's going to sound a little too familiar. It takes daytime naps.
Oh no, I love a nap. Don't take naps away from it.
I know. Bad news for the siesta lovers. But in the killifish, that fragmented sleep napping during the day, waking up at night, was a huge predictor of a short life. The longest-lived fish had this really solid circadian rhythm, active all day, slept like a log all night.
So it's about rhythm, system integrity.
Exactly. When the rhythm breaks, the system is failing. But Brunet proposed a theory from this data that I think is the most important concept we've talked about so far, the staircase theory of aging.
This totally changed how I picture getting older. I always thought of it as a slide, a slow, gradual decline.
Right, smooth curve down. Brunet's data says that's wrong. It's a staircase. You're on one stable step of health for a while, you feel fine, and then bam, you drop down a step abruptly.
And crash.
A state change. You drop to a lower level of function, then you stabilize there for a while until you drop again.
That actually feels so much more true to life. You hear it with older relatives. She was fine, and then she had that fall, and she never got back to where she was.
Exactly, she dropped a step. And this changes the whole mission. If it's a slide, you're just trying to slow down. If it's a staircase, the goal is to see when you're petering on the edge of a step and pull you back.
Or build a railing.
Which brings us to the philosophy of all this. Andrew Adams from Eli Lilly gave a talk that really hammered this home.
The house on fire analogy.
Yeah, he said our system is just sick care. We wait until the house is engulfed in flames, the heart attack, the stroke, then we call the fire department. But even if you put the fire out, the house is ruined.
And his quote was, "The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining." Which is great, but let's be honest, we're all terrible at that. If I feel fine, I am not taking a pill every day.
And that's the adherence problem. Adams was so blunt about this. Even with miracle drugs like statins, adherence drops to about 50% after a year. We just stop taking them.
So if preventative health is the future, but humans are the weak link, what's the fix?
You take the human out of the loop. You remove the cognitive burden. So you move away from daily pills toward things like genetic medicines. One and done.
He mentioned Verve Therapeutics. That's the gene edit for cholesterol.
Yes. The idea is you get one shot, it goes to your liver, edits the gene for bad cholesterol, and you're done for life. You never have to remember a pill again.
You just edit the risk out of your source code.
That's the holy grail. But while we're waiting for that, we have something else that is already here. And it's probably the biggest story in medicine right now.
GLP-1s, Ozempic, Mounjaro.
We have to talk about them.
But I still think of these as weight loss drugs. Or for diabetes. But at this conference, you had executives from Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly basically calling them longevity medicines. That is a huge rebrand.
It is, but the data is forcing their hand. They're finding these drugs do things that have nothing to do with just losing weight.
Like what?
Well, let's just go through the organs. Lottie Knudsen from Novo Nordisk listed them off. Heart, kidney, liver, brain. Take the heart. We thought, oh, you lose 50 pounds, your heart gets better. It makes sense.
Sure.
But they found there are actually GLP-1 receptors on the heart itself. The drug is talking directly to the heart.
Wow.
It cut cardiovascular events by 20%. Then the liver. They are seeing reversal of fibrosis, of scarring. We thought that was a one-way street. These drugs seem to let the liver heal itself.
The one that really got me was the brain, the addiction part.
It's fascinating. Real-world data shows people on these drugs they reduce their cravings for alcohol, for opioids.
It turns down the volume on that I want it signal.
Exactly. It induces homeostasis or balance in the reward centers. So Novo Nordisk is now running a 4,000-person trial for Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, that's a huge leap from diabetes.
The theory is neuroinflammation. If these drugs are powerful anti-inflammatories for the whole body, maybe they are for the brain too. If that trial works, you're looking at a single drug that protects the heart, kidneys, liver, and brain.
Which explains that shocking stat from Andrew Adams, a 39% reduction in all-cause mortality in their pre-diabetes trials.
39%, just let that sink in. He called it one of the most powerful drugs that has existed in terms of reducing all-cause mortality. It's like a system-wide shield against aging.
Okay, so we have the dashboard, the AI telling us our face is aging, our heart is at risk. We have the shield, the GLP-1s protecting our organs. But what about damage that's already done? If I've already dropped down a step on the staircase, can I get back up?
That's the final frontier, repair. And for this, we go back to Morten Scheibye-Knudsen. He presented some unpublished data on something they're just calling Drug F.
Drug F. Very mysterious.
Very. But the mechanism is so exciting. It stimulates DNA repair. You know, as we age, our DNA breaks, it gets scars, our repair crew gets lazy. Drug F seems to wake them up.
It kickstarts the maintenance team.
Exactly. And they tested this on mice with Alzheimer's mice bred to have terrible memory and motor function.
And what happened?
When they were treated with Drug F, they improved. Their memory got better, their motor function came back, they regained function they had lost.
So they climbed back up a step.
In a mouse model, yes. It's like it tells the body, hey, fix the DNA, and the body actually listens and responds.
It feels like we're finally putting the pieces together. For so long, this field felt like eat more blueberries and hope for the best.
Right.
But now
it's an engineering problem. The AI is the inspection report. The GLP-1s are the structural reinforcement. And DNA repair. That's the renovation crew.
It's a complete shift from playing defense to playing offense.
That is the perfect way to put it.
I do have one final question, though. You mentioned the GLP-1s turned down the wanting. Someone at the conference asked a great question. They asked, if we dampen the reward system, will scientists stop being curious? Will we lose our drive?
It's a valid worry. If you're perfectly content, do you still write the novel?
Do you still make a deep dive?
Exactly. But the answer from Knudsen was pretty reassuring. She said patients report feeling happier, more able to focus. It seems to clear the noise of cravings, which frees you up to do the things you actually care about.
So it's not numbing you, it's decluttering you.
That's a great way to put it. It seems to be decluttering.
That's a relief. I'd hate to live to 120, but be too bored to enjoy it.
I don't think that's the risk. If you look at the killifish, the long-lived ones weren't lazy. They were the ones with the strongest rhythm. Active days, restful nights, they were fully engaged with life.
So here's the thought I want to leave everyone with, that image of the staircase. The idea that we're walking along a plateau, and then suddenly we could step down. We now have the technology, the AI, the facial scans, the sleep tracking, to see the edge of that step coming. The check engine light is finally working.
The light is working. The question is, will you pull over?
Right. If an app tomorrow could scan your face and tell you you are approaching the edge, would you actually change? Would you pick up the jump rope?
That's the variable science can't solve. The will to act. The tools are here. The rest is up to you.
Stay curious.
And stay healthy.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.